Upon the release of my mini video surrounding Captain Marvel and how it uniquely strays away from the source material and really craps on the legacies of historical characters, I've had the same question really pop up numerous times. This question tends to come from a lot of people that simply didn't know about the comics themselves. Not that there's anything wrong with that, such as my coverage of Monica Rambeau. I even covered her first ever appearance in comics, and some people were like, what the hell? And that's because they realized how original of a character Monica Rambeau was, and she had no business really looking up to Carol Danvers because she's grown, she's had her powers, and she's already linked up with the Avengers long before she ever knew who the hell Carol Danvers was. But the recent movie, they knocked her down to this child that saw her as this aunt. She really looked up to her, if you will. The question was, why would an actor or actress agree to do this upon knowing this information? That is, why would you be a part of something that really craps on the legacy? Well, I don't think that the question is as straightforward and obvious, or the answer isn't as straightforward and obvious as some of you might think. Though some of it is, the obvious answer would be because they just want the money and the fame, and I think that's absolutely true. It's just more to it. You have to understand that comic books, it's a niche really sort of community. Most people don't read comics at all. Some of the more iconic characters like Batman or Superman are really known to normies because they've appeared in live action depictions over the years, as well as cartoons, and they simply really became a part of American culture. So with a character like Carol Danvers, who isn't that popular or that liked among the comic book community, people's first time really being introduced to her was in the live action films. It may have prompted them to Google more information to everybody wants to be a part of the conversation, so they got to be able to pretend like they know what they're talking about. But let's be for real, these people had no idea who this character was until the movie was announced. You have to take this into consideration, that the same thing is applied to those that are cast for these roles. Actors and actresses are not above the fray. The vast majority of them have never heard of these characters, and very few of them read comics. To them, it's just another gig. It's just another part that they can act. And considering the popularity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's a damn good gig. It's good for their career. So when Monica and Marvel have their legacies crapped on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe depiction of Captain Marvel, these people didn't care about any of this. They just saw this as an opportunity to, advance their career. They don't do this because they had some sort of connection to the characters. Brie Larson had no connection to Carol Danvers. They didn't do this because it's a different universe, which is the favorite, quotes of the normies. It's a different universe. Just like the normies, had the writers and producers created a script that followed or told a story that is largely kept in the spirit of the source material, they would still not have any sort of problem embracing these films. Even if someone like Brie Larson said, I'm not acting this role because it craps on Monica and Marvel, they would have just found someone else to do it and they would have done it. This is why I say that much of the efforts and gripes shouldn't be aimed at the actors. Though I'm not saying that they, are innocent. They absolutely are guilty and deserve some of these criticisms. But the writers and producers are the ones that truly allow this to happen. Brie Larson was not some high demand actress. The same can be said for the vast majority of the actors that play these roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many of them, had little to no clue who these characters were before they filled these roles. Now, I don't care about any of this. They could get a no-name actor or actress to play a role, so as long as he or she can look and act a part, I'm good. Remember, they are acting the roles of established characters. So it's the writers that truly allow this crap to happen, because the actors are just other normies that have no connection to the source material and are just trying to make a buck, which advances their careers, which in itself, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, if someone offered me a lot of money and said, we want you to play Wolverine, I'm gonna be like, hell no. But I actually have connection to the source material and don't really want to insult the legacy of Wolverine. These other actors though, not so much. They're actors. They literally just do what they're told and make things appear real. That's their job. This is why much of Hollywood is just a bunch of dimwits if you follow the social media or hear them speak on things outside of, acting. And with zero connection to this source material, they have no problem crapping on the legacy because they don't even know of the legacy of these characters, especially if they can use these movies to promote their political or social agendas. On top of that, they'll certainly stand on the backs of these characters to get that done. They are simply cogs in this machine. If anything, the producers and the writers should be the ones prioritized if one has issue with how they do some of these characters, because as far as I'm concerned, and the actors are concerned, they are simply cogs in the machine. If anything, the producers and the writers should be the ones prioritized if one has issue with how some of these characters are depicted. Because as far as the actors are concerned, they're just normies at best. The people responsible for writing out these roles in the first place are the ones that you should have really a true problem with, because they're the ones that are going to keep this nonsense going.